All right, we are starting the recording. All right, wonderful. Well, hey, my name is Kent Van Rukel. I proudly represent Central Holidays West, and today I'm coming to speak to you from Little Falls, Minnesota, where we're up to 15 degrees today and a sunny day, so it's all good. But I am delighted to join you and the Chamber on this incredible Amalfi Coast, Italy trip departing, as it says on the screen, November 8 through 16 of 2015. So delighted that you all took a moment of your time to come out and get your questions answered, see some pictures, and of course get excited about visiting the Amalfi Coast in November. So I'll roll through these slides. I will ask a little housekeeping if you have questions to jot them down. If there's something comes up that I can answer as we go, we can actually put it down as a question. Alyssa can type that up for us. And if it's something I feel like I can answer real easy or quick, I'll certainly add it. Otherwise, we'll do the question section at the end. So if that's all fair, we'll just go ahead and start. So who is Central Holidays? A lot of you are wondering who brought this program to the Chamber and to President Mark. And we have been a group travel company since 1972. We do have offices east and west coast here in the U.S., as well as our offices overseas. So when you're actually traveling through Italy, we have a local presence. So we do think that's a pretty big deal. And if you ever had a concern about international travel, we have offices in Paris, Rome, Cairo, and the next line below, we're a member of the Sakara International Group. And so we're a large company, again, based out of New Jersey. Anyway, we are a wholesale traveler. A wholesale traveler, different. We create the program, and then we bring it directly to the Chamber. So you're not dealing with a middleman, and that's what gives us the great valued programs. So with that said, we love doing the different treasures around the world, but our key is we like the off-the-beaten path. So there are certainly areas like Pompeii when it'll seem a little touristy, but we like those behind the scenes and off the beaten path type of destinations, because that is what you really come to know with Central Holidays, and we want to make sure that stays the same. With that said, we are the official travel partner. Mark can vouch for our presence with the American Chamber of Commerce executives. And again, a very big honor for us. There's only one of those in the world, and that is us. So very proud of that distinction as well. So let's go on with the show, because again, we want to excite you for how of what we've got going. So now, button. There we go. When you talk about Italy, you think, of course, of the wonderful food. The Italian people, it's a great flair. They have incredible traditions, and it's all by design. When you're traveling Europe in an international destination, you find that the traditions don't change a lot over the years. It seems in the U.S. we're such a melting pot that things change a bit from year to year even. New traditions are started, whereas over here we've got thousands of years of tradition. So we're going to be enjoying the food. You'll notice that we have a cooking seminar, a cooking demonstration while we're there. You see some of the limes in the top corner, and of course the beautiful, to me, the mussels in the bottom corner. The food is something they brag about, and you'll have a chance to experience. The breathtaking scenery. Amalfi Coast is one of the most beautiful places in the world, and you almost question how they plan and design these roads and towns along this incredible coast, but you'll see the draw to this beautiful area as the pictures go on, and of course while you're on the trip. So the phenomenal scenery is what really brings people to this area. And then of course goes on with the preservation of these incredible historic sites. You see in the bottom the Mount Vesuvius, and of course the city of Pompeii underneath it. a frolicking city in its day. It was a city in its day, whereas the day in 72 A.D. when Vesuvius blew her top, the volcano erupted. It was pitch dark, and people couldn't even. They were scared, so scared that they couldn't even leave their homes, and were just engulfed by this lava flow. And that ash and lava has been cleaned up, and the city is still there. But even in the top right corner, you see the Parthenon type of images. Homes to the gods is what they built those for. So amazing history. So let's get on our way. Let's depart for Italy. We will be flying right out of the Fort Wayne Airport, so you're looking at a nice local destination. We can take off from Fort Wayne. Typically, there's one interception in the middle or one change of planes somewhere, but normally to get to Rome, there's not a lot of direct flights from the United States to Rome, so you'll probably be heading to some international city, such as Amsterdam, London, Paris, Munich, but airlines will come as we get a little closer. Here's the beautiful Italian flag, and this map shows us the boot-like shape of Italy, and the arrow points us. You see Rome in the direct center, but just a bit south and east, you'll see the area of Naples. We'll be over the Gulf of Naples in a little small town called Sorrento. Buongiorno when we meet our Central Holidays representative. They will greet us at the airport, and once we've got the bags secured on the motor coach, all the baggage handling is included from then going forward. So each of you will be allowed one 50-pound suitcase, and we will do all the baggage handling once it's put on the coach right at the Leo da Vinci Airport in Rome. You'll see that the motor coaches, the modern design, the amazing double-door design are super comfortable, air-conditioned, water aboard, plus bathrooms on board. So we will be traveling in these really nice motor coaches. In fact, some of the roads have been limited, so there are days that we will be split up on vans so we can actually get to some of the sites that the motor coaches can't get. But you'll see the Central Holidays logo. These coaches are actually personalized for our service. So again, just the history of what how long Central Holidays has been over here in Italy. This map is going to be a better for us. As you notice, Sorrento is the small red dot there with the blue arrow. But this entire area, you see Pompeii to the north, Ravello, we're going to be touring that, and Amalfi on the opposite side of this peninsula. Positano, a great little community, a little village, and then way down off the point is Capri, and we will be visiting the Isle of Capri on this tour as well. So again, lots of great inclusions, and then certainly some optional days. In fact, I take that back. The Capri is an option. We like to include the busy days, the must-sees, and then there's days that I want you to go out and experience it on your own, experience it as you would do it. We found that the chamber markets and the travelers with the chamber markets love to be explorers, love to find places to have lunches and secret hideaways, so to speak, that they do on their own. So we give a great blend of a busy time as well as free time. So this map really shows the peninsula we'll be on, and that arrow is coming right from the Gulf of Naples. Naples being the city to the northwest of this map. So let's go to Sorrento. Sorrento is one of those incredible towns. It's right on the ocean, the Mediterranean Sea, and you see the blue water, but right away you see the dramatic coastline. This area isn't known for its beaches. It's known for its craggy coast, and that's where, when you look at the top little insert picture on the top right, how they built the cities right on this sea. They're built just straight up with the tall cement ramparts and into the rock, and something you just don't see a lot of. Probably not a lot of those in Indiana, wouldn't you say? Yeah, that's as good as the jokes get. Anyway, we will be staying 6 nights at one hotel, What I like about that is with 6 nights at the Grand Hotel Cesare Augusto, you know your way around. It's what we call our home and spoke plan. And the home and spoke means that each day we're going to spoke out by motor coach, travel, explore, and then we'll always come back to our home, which is this neat hotel. The hotel is located in the heart of the city. It is up high on the hill, so there's just great views from all directions. And you will notice the balcony rooms. The rooms have balconies that you can sit out, enjoy your vino at night. During the day, you want to pick up a bottle of wine. You can sit on your patio, watch the boats come in and out, and be able to enjoy the vino up on your own patio. The pictures of the hotel you're looking at now show it as a fairly modern place. Italian marble is about everywhere, the polished marble floors, and yet there is some character to this property. It's not brand new. It's 120 rooms, but all soundproofed, air-conditioned. I know a lot of you have that question when, even if we're going in November, so many European hotels don't have air conditioning, so you know you've got a more modern place, a Wi-Fi connection, free of charge. Satellite hair dryers in each room, as a lot of you will ask later. Those are included, bathroom, and even with a bidet. So for you that want to experiment, you will have bidets in your room. Yeah, I usually gets a laugh because most of us find that quite foreign, to say the least. And then in the top right corner, that is our roof garden pool. Now, will we need that in November? People are going to ask me what the weather is like. I'm going to tell you it's going to be fall-like. We're going to have days in the 70s. We're going to have days in the upper 50s. Evenings can get down in the 40s, but a lot of our evenings are still going to be in the 50s. So 50 to 70. I'm going to tell you to just dress in layers, smart casual. As the sun goes down, the temperatures fall. You're going to want a layer, and I'm going to tell you a 3-season spring-fall jacket is what I'm going to ask that you wear. Also known in the bottom right corner, notice that they have a renowned restaurant. Great way to test different flavors of the Mediterranean as well as the Italian cuisine. So as you see, Sorrento, it has its own harbor, and where the boats to the right, you'll notice that some of the smaller cruise ships will actually come into Sorrento. Not the big cruise ships; the small ones may stop there. But you'll notice how there's a beach area down there, but you'll find that some of the docks have got beach chairs, and that's a way that they can use up as much of the water as they can, and the visitors can relax. But again, you see the buildings and the different shapes. But look at the walkway on the top left corner. That's how people get up and down, and they do a lot of funiculars. Just the small, look like ski lifts will take you up and down. This is a fabulous picture where the road has cut the city right in half, and we're actually standing on the bridge, but looking south and seeing how the road's cut right through the center of the city. These pictures give you a good feel. You're in a small Italian town. I find as much joy people watching sometimes as I do experimenting and finding restaurants and little pubs and little attractions. But this gives you a feel of how it's a neat little busy area. So if you have your programs and you're following along at home, you'll see on day 3 we're doing our Sorrento day, but then we're going to get into heading down to Amalfi and the towns of Amalfi and Ravello. We talk about the Amalfi coast, but there is actually a town named Amalfi, and we'll be crossing the peninsula heading toward that. So you see the little spots on the map there. But look at this fabulous city. This is the town, a little village of Amalfi. And again, how they basically stack the buildings on each other with the rock base. The sidewalks, you feel like you're walking through somebody's backyard. Just imagine yourself walking these streets. There's not much for a map. You want to get someplace, you just know if it's in high town or low town, down at the coast. and then you're always hoping there's a funicular to bring you back to the top. Amalfi, look at the stairs. Look at the beautiful church in the center there. And I think something everyone has to realize, here's a good time to talk about it. Italy does not have OSHA. I will warn people to get a nice pair of broken-in shoes and be ready for walking. But with that said, realize that when you're with a tour, with a group, if you can walk 3 to 4 blocks, you can walk this tour. 3 to 4 blocks. We're not going to run. We're not looking for marathon runners. But do notice, a lot of times like here, if we're going to that church and you want to see inside, it's going to be the, 45, 50 steps to get to the front door. And just be aware, this is old country Europe. And remember that, Italy has been around almost as long. Once they came out of the Mid-East, they started going, establishing colonies in Greece, and then went on to Rome. And, of course, that was the center of the earth for a long while. And these streets and these walkways have been here for centuries. So when you see these narrow streets, the cars share the space, the small little cars that, the small little street that you see on the right, just little shopping venues, as well as the little statues in the middle of the other. You see the tiny cars that a lot of the Europeans like to drive. And can you imagine yourself walking and just being in this atmosphere of Amalfi? Amalfi is also known for its own style of pottery, and each of these pieces that you see is hand painted. So they don't do multiple replication as much as they'll do a design and paint it over and over and over. So the design looks similar, but you find a one of a kind, as they don't multiple reduce or replicate the Amalfi pottery. It's each design and hand painted, each piece. Another town, and I love that shot on the right, one of our past groups looking over the edge. And this is usually where the road comes into towns up on the peak, and then you find your paths and little back streets to work your way down into the town. So again, this would be a included tour of Ravello. We like to have lunch on your own. Every morning we're having a full hot breakfast, a buffet-style breakfast. And I've been reading reviews of the hotel, and people telling me that the food is wonderful, lots of variety. Lunch I like to have on your own, and then you'll notice that we'll have a lot of the dinners at the evening. Most of the dinners are included, to where you can you'll be coming back for dinner. So lunch on your own gives you a chance to explore, try some of the great desserts and the gelato. We haven't even talked about gelato yet, and off on your own for a while over the noon. So here's a great shot of how we talk about the wines of Italy, and you see where they plant grapes and they plant fruit and the lemon trees every inch of the property they have. So you see the terraces here in this amazing picture, and then one of the lookouts that we just saw a minute ago with the people looking over the edge. And you can the majesty of this is unbelievable. And you can see the caves to the back there, but yachts sitting out in the water. These towns are known for the rich and the famous. And you come down from Monte Carlo up in by Nice in France, those people come out here and spend days or weeks at a time. This is where we do the limoncello day. I think the neat part of this is where they actually take the limoncello. It's actually made from the lemons, but it's a wonderful liqueur. And I don't know, Alyssa, did you come up with any limoncello tonight?
No, we didn't. We weren't able to.
Okay, no problem. I only asked because
you have to go to Chicago to buy it around here.
If you have tried it, you'll find it's quite stout, but the fun part is it's really tasty, super sweet, makes a great follow-up to dinner. And when people are done with their dinner and the wine, and remember their dinners are a nice slow 3, 4, 5 courses, expect plenty of time for dinner. And then the limoncello really goes down smooth at the end of a wonderful meal. So there will be a cook and dine, including, of course, the limoncello. Don't you love those lemon trees in the bottom picture? But we will be in the cook and dine. And I hate to say this, but I think this is a little out of order because we're going to be doing this in Sorrento. Sorrento on day 6. So I'll have to give Ian some static about putting my slides out of order. So I do apologize. But learning some of their cooking techniques is another treat to this tour. It is included, and it gives you a chance to try your own specialty and take some of those new techniques home with you. So we've got, as I mentioned, day 3, day 6, and day 8 are all full days of touring, but we are going to have a few days of optional tours. So the day that you say, hey, I want to go out to Capri, it's out on the tip of that peninsula we've been on. We're going to take a boat to get there. You'll see that the island's out off the edge, but we're going to take a boat to get there. You see the rock formations and the landscapes as we leave the mainland and head out to this incredible island. You see the crystal clear water, the bright colored boats, the houses, the homes are bright colored, and there's a funicular ride up to the top. Capri is in a village on the bottom of the island against the coast. Anna Capri is the one up on top. So we'll be doing both top and bottom, and then here's your way to walk home. Nice little walking path to get you back to the boat. And yes, we're only kidding. It makes for a fun walk for people that say, hey, I'm going to get my morning walk, and can you imagine just the pictures of this and your opportunity to do such. So it makes for a neat day. You see a lot of whitewashed houses here in this picture, but you'll see the brightly colored houses and boats, and then you see the people once again on the edge. But fishing and boating still a huge part of their industry. So you'll see that tourism is certainly one of the top exports, their top products, but the wine production as well as fishing continues to be very a necessity for the people there. So you see a lot of those neat boats. So, but again, beautiful flowers. You know, and I'm not going to tell you this is a November picture, but I will tell you that you will be surprised how many trees still have the flowers still in bloom. It's such a mild area that it may not be in this full color, the lavender you see here, but expect to see greenery, expect to see flowers even that time of year. On Capri, here's a great, just a picture of an old cobbler. You see him making the flip-flops right there, and you can bring home your own pair. It's Italian leather with just a local shop. So just again a neat stop, a neat memory. And their main piazza. Piazza is their center, the plaza. Piazza means plaza, their center, and a great place to find little restaurants and of course places to taste the vino. Here you see them doing samples of the limoncello and the different their different type of pottery and things, but also some of their different bites and nibbles in the top right corner. Naples is a city that basically takes us north around the corner, around the bend a little bit. It's a little larger city. So if you look at the right of the map, you see Sorrento, where we're staying. We're going to travel up to Naples this day and get a tour of that city, the Castel Nuovo, the new castle. And doesn't look too new to me, but the new castle. Piazza Dante Alighieri. I worked on it earlier, but anyway. And their plaza. This is, again, where the plaza is where the events happen. If there's a festival, if it's whatever your weekend days are when you have your holiday down in your town, this is where all the events would be. There's times when there's flower markets going on, and there's weddings and anything royal in receptions and such are always in the plaza or the piazza. And again, look at the history. You just look at the style of building. You know, they just don't build them like they used to. But over there, they keep their culture. They keep their architecture. And I just find it phenomenal. When I'm there, my camera is always just shelling pictures off. When I get home, I try to figure out where each one was. Another of their plazas with their capital, their the government building. And then, of course, the fountains of Naples, which we'll see throughout the town, and talk about which each one is significant of. And here's those narrow streets, the little Vespas. This is something that you can actually rent on one of your free days in Sorrento if you want to go out and just drive around a little bit and take in the city on your own. Quite appealing to a lot of people. And then, of course, the markets. So certainly a little chance for you to do a little shopping and picking up one-of-a-kind Christmas gifts when you travel in November. It always helps you get Christmas gifts. You see some of the fabulous food in the busy streets, as well as in the bottom of the gelato, which is more like an iced cream. They mix an ice in there, and it makes it so light that you can sample lots of flavors and never be too full of gelato. And of course, one of the friendly little piazzas, little plazas with the different. Some people enjoying a little bottle, looks like water. The wine hasn't come yet, the way I see it. But one travel tip I can tell you that one thing Italy has done is they've kind of slowed down on taking credit cards at the local restaurants if it's under $25. So just a little safety, a little travel tip for you. Bring a little lunch money, I call it, for a glass of wine or just a dinner. Lunch, it's often handy just to carry enough euro to cover that. Of course, there will be a chance to do a little shopping at some unique stores because these areas are also known for their fashion. But you can see Naples, much bigger city than the little town that we're staying in. One of the other options takes us out to Salerno and Pastrum. And the reason we head up to Pastrum is it's where we head out to a farm and give you a chance to see how the mozzarella is made. So once again, you see our Napoli and the Salerno, right by the blue arrow is the word Capri. So you can see we're going around the bend a little bit to our south, a little bit to the Salerno area. Again, gorgeous little city. Here again, you see the brightly colored homes, and a little flatter city. So they actually have a little beach area, whereas a lot of Italian cities do not. So we'll be walking the streets of Salerno, but I do think that the highlight on this trip is when we head out to Pastrum, and Pastrum itself will be a little, even older city, a little more history, and the Parthenon type building again, where the Greek gods were meant to be housed. That's where they lived. So you got to imagine 1,000 years of history and more and greater in places like this. But look at the neat little town, small little streets, and again where we get a chance to see how they make the mozzarella cheese, both from buffalo and of course from the cows themselves. These you can see they're look like a cross of a water buffalo and a cow, but both buffalo and the cattle is where they make their cheese from. And if you haven't figured it out, yes, the wonderful piazzas. It's always funny to see the locals will be wearing a wool jacket, and we'll be out there in the short sleeve shirts and a jacket. Maybe we'll be carrying a jacket on our hip because it's 65, 70 feels pretty darn good to us Midwesterners. So probably a November, December picture right here. Did I mention chances for shopping? Yeah. We get 2 complaints on every trip, and it's not enough shopping. And of course, the other complaint is too much shopping. So you find a happy balance. But so many specialty shops over there that you'll find intriguing to where you're going. Local pastries, the local flavors. It's what's nice about free time, and if you had a free day, wouldn't you like to go out and I always stop at grocery stores when I'm on trips. just to see how their markets and what they have. Pick up some local flavor, so to speak. But yeah, look at that amazing town and some of their options. And of course, there is a chance of picking up some wine. Do remember you can take 3 bottles back in your check bag. So if you've ever seen the high-density foam bags, they look like a sock almost. That and a lot of people will bring the wines back. Keep in mind, a lot of the wines can't be exported because they do not contain the preservatives that we have in ours. If you pick up a bottle of wine, you'll notice it always says contains phosphates. That is the preservative, and it's actually the ingredient that, believe it or not, it gives you. Have you ever heard of a wine headache? I see some of you nodding, and Alyssa, that wasn't you, was it?
Nope.
If you've ever had a little wine buzz and the next morning you've got a little headache, it often comes from the preservative. So their wines are made without preservative. That keeps them. They like to serve them. They drink them on a regular basis. So to bring wines home, you do want to consume it fairly quick. But what you'll find is it does not cause headaches. So imagine having a wonderful night, a wonderful dinner, waking up the next day and ready to go after another day. So phenomenal wines. So one more stopper city. So on day 8, you'll notice that we actually leave Sorrento and head up to Rome for the day. And the reason we go up to Rome on this day is because typically the flights will leave at 8 to 9 o'clock in the morning. And if we try to take off from our Sorrento hotel, it means you're leaving the hotel at around 3 o'clock in the morning. It's just not a nice way to end the day. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up on that last day, on day 8. You'll see that we're heading up to Sorrento, or leaving Sorrento, and stopping at Pompeii for a great morning of touring through this ancient village. Again, a city, and look at the columns, and you'll see when you're there the design. You'll find it was a major metropolis before the volcano erupted, and you can see the streets even have gutters and sewer systems, and there's way that they got water into their houses, and this was all covered up with ash, and it's all been cleaned up and refurbished to a degree to show you exactly how the town and how life was in those days. So really an amazing trip, certainly a must-see. And on the story on the right is there were people that were so scared, so mystified, they would just hide underneath their tables. And later, when archaeologists came to find them, that these mummified bodies still there. Some were, like I say, hidden under tables, hidden under beds. And the table was set for dinner, and they actually found these mummified bodies, as they were cleaning up and making it to where you could come today and visit. And here you see the center piazza of Pompeii with one of our past groups. But we're up to Rome, and of course, when you think of Rome, there's just so many things to see and do. We're going to be at a essentially located hotel. So the Visconti is a place that you can get to a lot of things. We're on the right bank of the Tiber River, so we're close to the Vatican City. So people can actually take taxis. We're going to get there typically in the middle of the afternoon, even early evening. And if you wish, you can jump in a taxi or look for any type of bus, and you can go see the Vatican City. We always recommend, it's basically about a half a day. It says a free day, but it's really about half a day that's going to get you to, walk in. It's a local area that's fun just to say you've been in Rome, but you do have a time to maybe sneak up to the Spanish Steps, which you see in the picture here, or to the Trevi Fountain. Trevi Fountain still today is when you put a penny over your shoulder that it tells you that you'll go back to Rome someday. So that was the tradition of people. So it's the beautiful Trevi Fountain. And the next morning, so your farewell dinner is going to be down in Sorrento, and then this day on your program there, the day 8, we're driving through Pompeii, touring Pompeii, and up to Rome. Late afternoon, early evening, you'll have a few hours in Rome. The next morning, we're going to be departing back for the U.S. Now, I know there's a few of you saying, this would be great if I could stay a couple more days in Rome. Well, hang on. Hold that thought. We're going to get there once we get past the lovely people of Italy, the great foods, the great shops. The Sorrento coast, is the Amalfi coast. Sorrento as a town is it's just a delightful, peaceful, relaxing, just a wonderful place to visit. And the people are so welcome. The foods are wonderful. Of course, the wine is free-flowing. So we hope this is your opportunity to visit the Amalfi experience in 2015. We will have, as I mentioned before, the round-trip air directly from Fort Wayne. Our hotel down in Amalfi, the first-class Grand Hotel Cesare Augusto, and then the one night in Rome. And it really is just for getting to the air, or getting in a position where getting to the airport's a lot easier. You will have all your breakfasts included, which are full buffets, and then 6 of the dinners are included. And then you'll read the list of the things that we have included, and you saw the pictures. We have the great motor coaches, so they're updated again. Modern, a lot of them are BMW, if you can imagine, or I mean Mercedes, and Mercedes makes a lot of the motor coaches over there, and the baggage handling will be included. Our guide will meet you at the airport and will leave you at the airport, so you'll always be in great hands, and the tour manager will stay with you through the entire program. Now, you probably looked at the brochure already and found that the pricing is amazing. Notice this pricing is $29.99 through okay, gotcha. Through
March 27th.
March 27th. I'm looking at my brochure. It's right here. $29.99. So for you that have looked at it and are contemplating, here's a great chance to kind of motivate you into saying, "Yep, I gotta jump in." Because you'll notice that we've got $29.99 per person through that date. Single occupancy, only $450 for a single. So some of the husbands and wives I know are thinking about getting their own room. It's only $450 more each. That is a joke, but if you're in the right crowd, it's hilarious. But fuel surcharges are included. The transfers. Everything important is included. We do make a note that the taxes and other fees, right now they're running $150. We don't include those until final payment. So on the $29.99 will be $150, and that covers the taxes. And it's just a fee. It's tough to add at the beginning. It's more of making sure that it's covered at the end. The only other thing out of your pocket is going to be the gratuities to the guides and drivers. Typically, my quick number is $10 per person per day, 9-day tour. You can figure, and 9-day tour means 7 tour days. 7 times 10, about $70. So if you think of that, that's really about it. And of course, your own passport. But as I mentioned before, for you people that said, "Hey, I would love to go on to Rome and of course see this amazing structure and more of it," we do have an optional Rome extension. On the day that people head to the airport, the rest of the people will be out for a day touring in Rome. And that does include 2 more nights at that Hotel Visconti. So we're going to stay there for 2 more nights. That first day is going to give us an incredible tour of the Colosseum, Sistine Chapel, the Vatican Museums, which is an option. St. Peter's, you don't get into the Vatican Museums unless you buy the extra option. So we've got that included, and it gets us 2 more nights in Rome with 1 full day of touring for only $669. So something definitely to be thinking about, because we'll talk about it when we get here to the registration page. The hotel is the one that we're staying at the same place, so no moving your bags. You're just there for 2 more nights. You can see the property, pretty typical of a Roman hotel, but once again, a lovely place. We will be including a day trip that takes us over to the St. Peter's Basilica. This is called the Vatican Square, and you can see it's more of a circle than a square, but an amazing principality. This is actually an independent country that sits in the center of Rome, and of course Rome protects it. But this is where the Pope gives his papal audience on Wednesday mornings. Inside that circle, inside the Vatican, you'll see that is St. Peter's in the background, and under that canopy, that is where they do the Pope actually speaks from, and of course the home of the Pope. if you didn't realize, Pope Francis resides there, and still to this day, being independent, it's not protected by the Romans, but it's protected by the Swiss Guard. So here's the Swiss decorated guards, and they have quite the colored costumes. In fact, this guy has his rain bonnet on. It's a brightly colored, almost looks like a jester's suit with those flashing strips of color. But we'll be going in there. But the neat part is going around to the Vatican Museum, which brings us into the amazing Sistine Chapel. And I always say they ran out. There's so many artists. They ran out of space. They started painting the walls and the ceilings, and they mosaic the floors. It is absolutely inspiring. You cannot take enough film, so we're lucky we have digital cameras. But if you look at those pictures, imagine Michelangelo laying on his back for over 3 years, painting daily at all these incredible pictures. So, and if you haven't heard, they just re-cleaned it. So all these have been touched up, and it's as bright as it's been in, I think they said 200 years. So, great time to go and visit that. The Piazza Venezia, where they did a lot of the national announcements, were made from up top here. They also named this the wedding cake, and some call it the typewriter, but it's the piazza that will be seen, as well as going to the old center of the world, the Roman Forum, in its what's left of it and how it stood. And then if you look in the background, you'll notice the Colosseum. So this is where as again, like we say, the center of life was. This was all under 12 to 15 foot of dirt at one time as well. And when they're looking to do some building, they came upon these different fragments and realized that this was the original Forum area. So quite amazing. But the Colosseum, built in 72 AD, same year that Vesuvius erupted, is the year that they inaugurated or christened the Colosseum. But we're not going to just drive by it and take a photo. We're walking inside, seeing how the floor over the hundreds of years, the thousands of years, has deteriorated away. But it shows us down below where the Christians were held and the gladiators were held. If you've seen the movie Gladiator, it's probably the best example, most real life picture of what the Colosseum and its grandeur was in those days. But we're going inside so you can walk around and get your pictures from up close. We'll see things like the Arch of Constantine and hear about the battles of Constantine, and see the Tiber, or the River Tiber, which goes right through the town. You will have, of course, a little bit of chance to do a little shopping as you final up your tour. We have a full free day in Rome on that extension, so you can go do exactly what you want to see and what you want to do, and then we jump on the big bird and say arrivederci as we depart back for the U.S. So it's an additional 2 days, but you'll never, ever forget the memories and the pictures in your mind of the people and the places and the colored buildings, just the whole Italian experience. Good news, there is no visa required, only your passport. Now, they do recommend you take a look at your passport and make sure it has a minimum of 90 days beyond your return to the expiration. So double check your passport, just make sure it's accurate. And if it's good if we're going in November, make sure it's good. I like to tell people 6 months. You're going in November, make sure it's good through, say, April, May of 2016, okay? So I know you're all sitting there wondering enough with the pictures, how do I sign up? Have you handed out the brochures? Is everybody looking at the brochure?
Yep.
Very good. Just a couple housekeeping things I like to put on here. Number one is that it's really important. You don't need your passport number on this piece. but it's really important to get your name spelled right the first time. So if you can take your passport name, do your Sunday best printing, and get it, you know, very legible, that's a great start. We can get those passport numbers later, and if you're applying for a new passport, you figure 2 to 3 weeks, and then you can get those numbers in to Alyssa, and we'll collect those as well as we go on. But for now, the big key is finding how many spaces we need to reserve, that we have space for the people that want to go. So you have passenger 1. If you're going to go solo, if you're going to go as a single, in the passenger 2 you put NA. It's not applicable. You're going as a solo, as a single. If you're rooming with your spouse, put their name in passenger 2, and then the street address and such will match. If you're rooming with someone other than your spouse, put your name in passenger 1, your roommate in passenger 2, and then have passenger 2 will fill out their own form. Okay, so two of you ladies are rooming together. Each will fill out a full sheet, but just put each other in as passenger 2. Okay, does that make sense? Next, you'll see there is a spot. It says I'm cutting out. Okay, is this any better?
I believe so. You cut out some, but we can clarify later with it.
Okay, because the next one's real important. Okay, good. Well, the next one's real important because you'll see that the optionals are listed there. Now, the Naples, Salerno, Paestum, Isle of Capri, those options, we can actually pick those up later. But the one I'd really like you to consider and do originally is the Rome extension. If you know you're going to do the Rome extension, it's great to have that put in the original deposit, because then as we go and build airline tickets, we can go ahead and get the return on the proper day. Okay, so to me, real important at that point is where the Rome extension is one that you want to decide on with your deposit. And you will notice it says a minimum of 20 passengers. That can be throughout your group. So let's pretend we have 2, 3, 4 groups promoting this date. If you've got 4 and they've got 8 and they've got 12 and they've got 4, as long as we have 20, that will operate. So trust me, that one doesn't cancel hardly ever. So don't have any fear of signing up for the Rome extension. The next line is travel protection, and you'll see right below there it's going to tell you that the travel protection on a trip 2,000 to 3,000 is $219. But if you do choose to do the Rome extension, it's $269. You see where I'm at? Just want you to be able to understand, because the deposit amount on this trip is $500. The insurance does need to be paid at the same time. So if you know you're going to Rome, the deposit is still $500, but the insurance will go to $269. So as you go below, payment method and requirements, you'll see there it says the deposit, $500. And then if you know you're doing the options, you can sure sign up. But the important one would be the Rome extension. The deposit stays the same, $500 plus the insurance at the time of deposit. Final payment we'll be sending you. Please, when you fill these out, if you use your email address, we actually bill via email. So that keeps it all clean and less paperwork for everyone. You will notice that we do take credit cards on the bottom, all 4 major credit cards. But the key there is notating. I authorize what amount to be charged to my card. So what you want to do is you want to take a look. If you know you're doing an option, if you know you're buying the insurance, it's $500 plus the insurance. If it's 2 of you times 2, that's the amount you put in the I authorized. If you're the single gal that's rooming with somebody, you authorize your 500 plus the whatever insurance is applicable to you. If you don't buy the insurance, that's where that cancellation policy comes in. That tells you the cancellation if you don't have insurance. If you have the insurance, you're protected to the day prior to departure. All you risk is the insurance and $325. So you'll get $175 back on the deposit, and the loss of your insurance. But just so you understand, that's what you would lose if you did change your mind or cancel. But with the insurance, different story, whole different story. All right? Sign it, and you are on your way to the Amalfi Coast. Now, welcome to the world of Central Holidays. So I am going to open this up to questions. Have we got them all answered, or what questions do you have?
When you travel from the hotel, what's the longest time you spend on the bus during a day?
Yeah, great question. You know, we like to go to Rome because they always told me it was a 3.5-hour drive from Rome down to Sorrento. 3.5 hours. So depend on traffic, that probably can be 3.5 to 4.5, but let's just say 3.5 would be your longest. So if you look at crossing the peninsula to Ravello, you're talking about less than an hour and a half. So most days is going to be an hour.
Okay.
Naples, maybe an hour and a half. That'd be about it.
Any other questions?
Any other questions? Oh, you guys are a good audience. Wow.
Well, the wine helps.
Oh, that away. I didn't ask if you were serving wine. Well done.
No, I think been very descriptive and answered the questions well. And if we get additional questions, we'll of course get them into you all.
All right. This sounds like Mark?
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, we're delighted to be a part of this experience for you. So thank you for having us.
Now, that group you had in the last slide was the group I went to Italy with. Yeah, so you're busted. That was actually up in the Italian Alps, but that's okay. We'll survive.
Thanks. Thanks.
Yeah, that's Joe.
Those pictures.
Yeah, Joe Regan from St. Louis Chamber of Commerce in the middle there.
Yeah, that is Joe. Yep. Thanks for bringing that out in front of all 25 of your guests.
They're all late checks now.
I think Alyssa said one left, so I guess all 24 of your guests. But any other questions, folks?
I think not. I think everybody looks like they've got their questions answered.
Oh, wonderful. Well, I will just close simply with, hey, if this is your chance to go to Italy, the value is there, the inclusions are there, the free time's there. This is a great chance for you to go to Italy, to see some of these amazing sites, and if you can go with friends, how much better can it be? So we'd love to have you join us. And with that, as Kent Van Rukel from Central Holidays West, thank you so much for joining the presentation.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you.
Have a great night. I see a little wine left. You might as well finish that before you go home. All right, you take care. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
No, he's just messing with me.
That's gonna be hard to do when you can't see people and you're trying to. He did. That's a tough.